Hello there, friends. How's it going today? In today's video, I wanted to make this video just to offer an apology to Pastor J.R. Cofer. Now, the reason I felt the need to do this, number of reasons, of course. One in particular, I want to practice what I preach. And there's times we do things and say things that are not always correct. And when there's conviction, when the Spirit of God touches our hearts, I believe it's only fair that we own it, at least the part that we did wrong. I'm going to explain to you what this is all about. The scripture tells us in Matthew chapter 5:23, if you bring a gift to the altar and there you remember that your brother have aught against thee. So this is kind of where that position is, right? Leave your gift before the altar and go thy way, be reconciled. First be reconciled to thy brother and then come and offer the gift. You know, we have to do more of this, and I have to say, I have to hold myself to the same standard. I have to do more of reconciliation as often as we can to restore broken and hurt relationships. Others had to do it with me as well. And sometimes when we talk online and we say things, sometimes we don't always hit the target as we intended. And there are times we say things that are generalizing, overstated. Sometimes it's an overcorrection. So in a case of J.R. Cofer, who sent me a message yesterday, we had a conversation maybe 3 months ago when Dwayne Lemon was on the channel. Reason that led to that conversation, after some remarks that Dwayne Lemon made, J.R. Cofer contacted me and said, you've also made some remarks about me that weren't right either. And I thought to myself, I don't think I've actually ever done that. But the way he helped me to realize what I did wrong, he mentioned a video that I did. It wasn't just me. We had a panelist. Let me show you. We had a panelist, a few friends with us that day. And that video was done about a year ago. It had about 24,000 views. And we said, why we had to stop listening to them. Now, this is the problem with this video. The word them is problematic. And the fact I had his picture, Tinsley, Emmanuel Nuguez, Andrew Enriquez, all in the same picture and said them, that was inconsiderate and unthoughtful. That's overgeneralization. So on this point, this is wrong. When you actually listen to the video, there was not a single mention of J.R. Cofer's ministry, nor his name, nor Brother Tinsley. So this apology is going to go for both two men, Brother Tinsley and J.R. Cofer. There was no mention of Mr. Nuguez either. We had some issues in the past, and we scratched that and let it go. There was a mention of Andrew Enriquez, which that video is private now. It's best I don't circulate that video because it's only going to create more controversies that we don't need to have anymore. But if you really, really want to see that video, I mean, send me an email. I'll think about it and pray about it before I decide to share it with you. But here is the thing. In that conversation we had, our panelists were sharing their thoughts and ideas about present truth. But we're talking about two different sides of present truth. We talk about the ones, present truth ministers to be exact. We were talking about the present truth message as a whole, the ministers. We were talking about the ones who are doing it right and the ones who are doing it wrong. We felt like there are some ministries who are just doing it wrong, right? They are overly critical and accusatory. And sometimes in the message, there's no grace and mercy. And oftentimes there is no effort to work with anybody. It's almost, there is this condemning approach about everything. And some of the people on the panelists were sharing how their experience with those type of ministries was detrimental to their spiritual health. It was horrible. And they were not growing spiritually, and they were actually becoming more critical and accusatory and reactionary about many things. And part of my appeals was, well, there are things that are neglected. There are things that can be done better. I actually never said in my video to not listen to these ministers. I never said that. One thing I said is you need to balance their message to make sure that you have truth on your side as well so that you don't go too far. But the error that I made in the video, and that's what I want to take responsibility for, is there was an overgeneralization. So similar to what Dwayne Lemon did last time he was on our channel, and he had to do some cleanup himself, and we really appreciate that. We saw humility and love as a result of doing this. So J.R. Cofer wanted me to make a video to walk back some things that I've said about his ministry, but I want to make it clear that video was not about J.R. Cofer at all. It was not. It was about other ministries that we felt like we're not doing this right. So, but the thing that is wrong, J.R. Cofer and also Brother Tinsley, Pastor Tinsley, their images were on the screen. That is just wrong. Now, here is the message I was trying to communicate. I was trying to communicate the message that there are good and bad ones. But in the thumbnail, we had to stop listening to them. It looks like all of them are bad. So this is where my error is. But the general conversation we were having, if you were to listen to it, what you will hear is that people had some concerns and ideas, but there were also some, validation. Hey, you guys, these guys, some are bad, but some are good. Some are doing it right. Some are not doing it right. Some had negative impact on our lives. Some had positive impact on our lives. So we were actually going back and forth, but we only talked about one ministry in particular in that entire video. And the rest of the panelists, including my wife and the other two friends that we had, they were not thinking about J.R. Cofer. So I want to take full accountability for this thumbnail, because the thumbnail is the issue here. It's not so much the message in the video as much is the thumbnail, the way it was a misrepresentation, a mischaracterization of all of these men's ministries, right? And we can say some have their way, some have different approach, different style, and everybody have different experience with these ministries. So we have to be careful that we do not overgeneralize. But there are people who've had serious negative experiences with certain independent ministers. And it's also good to understand that and listen to those concerns and, think about it, pray about it, and also to consider it as a valid point as well. Now, I want to say during the time of the Dwayne Lemon situation that happened about a couple months ago, J.R. Cofer and I spoke on the phone, and I did apologize to him directly for this thumbnail, because the remarks in the video were not targeted toward him at all. But the thumbnail overgeneralized and also made it seem as though what was stated in the video was about him. So I did apologize to him and told him I have no issues with your ministry at all. You're not. I do see you differently. And I will say the same is true for Brother Tinsley. I do see things differently when it comes to you guys, but I respect your ministry. Plus, I don't listen to them regularly as well. For me to make it seem as though they're all the same, that's actually unthoughtful, incorrect, and inconsiderate of me. So to put them on the thumbnail saying all of them are bad, nah, that's not the way we do things. And for that alone, I think it was wrong, and I can own it. But I was supposed to make a public apology, which I never got to because we got busy with so many different things. I unlisted the video and we got busy with Dwayne Lemon. Many things were happening. It never came back to me. Since there was a private apology and discussion, we prayed and everything on the phone. It was really, really good. Some good counsels were given me by Pastor J.R. Cofer, and I really appreciate it. But however, I never got to do a public apology, which is only fair. If I take down the video, I can simply say, here's the reason why I took it down. Now, I'm not sure how many people even remember this discussion. Nevertheless, it's only right and true as a Christian to own it, to own my part and be vulnerable enough to say, Pastor J.R. Cofer, I'm sorry for putting you on a thumbnail and mischaracterizing you in any way by so doing. Not only do I want to extend this apology to J.R. Cofer, but I want to extend it even more to Brother Tinsley. I will say, when it comes to Present Truth, there's a lot of different people there. But I will say, not all Present Truth ministers are the same. I have never had a negative experience with Pastor J.R. Cofer, nor Brother Tinsley, in all the time I've listened to them. And I have listened to them for a while, several videos, well over 20. Not anymore, but I have listened to them. But I've never had an issue with their ministry. Neither have I ever heard something negative about them. And neither can I condemn or criticize their approach, their mannerism, their style. None of that. I have no reasons whatsoever to mischaracterize these men. So I just want to quickly highlight two men that I do believe, Brother Tinsley and Gerald Cofer. I want to make it abundantly clear. I have no issue with you whatsoever, and I do not take an issue with your ministry. If I have mischaracterized you, overgeneralized you, put in you on my thumbnail that may have made you feel a certain way, I'm sorry for that. And also to the audience who's listening, I would like for you to keep this ministry in your prayer and keep these men in your prayer as well. I believe sincerely with all of my heart, many of them are trying to do us right. Some of them don't always do it right, but they're trying to do us right. And I've said that in the channel before. And I would say over time, I've grown so much. I've learned to appreciate the Present Truth Circle a lot more than ever before. I still have some issues in certain areas. I still have some issues with behaviors. I still have some issues with certain individuals. But I will say it is not right to overgeneralize them, because many of them are doing what they can by the grace of God, and many of them have been doing a good work. Last, I will also say keep yours truly in your prayer. There are a few things I'm doing better now. We're asking a lot more questions, and I have a team with me where we talk. We have conversations about certain things, certain individuals, even certain videos. Before we do certain interviews now, we have a conversation about that and trying to get the perspective of many different individuals than to be a one-man show kind of thing. I don't like that very much. And another thing is, I'm also open for counsel. I'm open for any counsel, rebuke, and correction. You do it in the right way. Pastor James is an open book. I do have my pride and ego. Yes, I do. But I certainly know how to be vulnerable, swallow my pride every now and then. I know how to say I'm sorry. So in this case, I can certainly admit there were some things that I said here that weren't right. So therefore, for these things, I apologize. In Joshua chapter 22, there's an amazing story there about way we go about addressing things we do not understand, or individuals or situation. There's a way to go about it. And I would encourage you that I plan on doing a sermon on that, because I'm smiling because the word of God is so good when you fully understand how God expects us to behave. There's a lot of things that we are doing. There's a lot of things that I have done that I'm like, man, I wish I had not done that. If I had read this sooner, I would have definitely taken proper steps. So I look at it like I am a work in progress. And I think if you guys will take a look at what I have become, what Advent Media Connect has become over the years, largely is due to counsels and rebukes, and also mistakes. And a lot of it has to do with a lot of the way you guys dealt with me in teaching me things, showing me things to do, and also bearing along with me as well. And I am so grateful for the people we have who are willing to forgive and ready to embrace and show me a better way to do things. I'm very grateful for that. And I really hope that I can be found in the good grace of men like Gerald Cofer, Brother Tinsley, or maybe any others I've offended. And if you think I've offended you in any particular way in any of my videos, please let me know. Because sometimes I may have had part of the information right, sometimes I don't have it right, and sometimes as we speak emotionally, sometimes we say things that we weren't supposed to say. I can't overgeneralize. I am actually, I'm a flawed man, and I can't make these mistakes. And I'm not justifying myself for saying that. It's a fact. What I'm understanding is when I do make those mistakes and I don't realize it, I need your help to show me where I have made those mistakes. And my contact info is below. My email is below. Reach out to me and show me, and I will be more than willing to correct the record so that I can make sure if I were to say anything that I was not supposed to say, any misrepresentation or mischaracterization is undone as much as I can. And I know there's some things that can be said that are extremely damaging to a men's ministry, and I do not want any message that was mentioned here in that video with Gerald Cofer, Brother Tinsley in particular. I don't want any things that was said in any way have any negative reflection on their ministry. I personally don't believe that. But there were other things that were said by the panelists. That's their true and honest experience. There were some ministers that were talked about, and that's the way they felt. That's based on their personal experience, and you can't take that away from them. Yeah, it may be It may be their perspective, and I'm not here to take that away from them. I want to protect my panelists every time they come here. If they do something wrong, we will talk and address that issue. But for me, I'm taking ownership of my part as a leader of this ministry. When I see my flaws and my mistakes, and it is brought to my conviction, I have a responsibility to do something about it. So this is the purpose of this video. My dear brother, Cofer, hope you can accept my apology. And hopefully we can do something in the future, because Pastor James is open and ready to dialogue with anyone and everyone. Pastor James is open and ready to dialogue and work with anyone and everyone who loves the brethren, loves the truth, and has a desire for souls. Thank you so much. I hope this video makes a difference when it comes to the conversation. Hopefully we can build better and do better next time. But also, I have a lot to learn. And I'm actually enjoying this process of growing and learning and studying and making mistakes and rising again. But I think it's all part of my spiritual journey as well. And I'm actually enjoying it. So I put this video out there, hopefully as a positive message to make a difference to the ministries of the men we've spoken about today. God bless you. Thank you for listening. Have a good one. Bye.